In today's world, Argentinian football does not draw global attention. Most football fans have never heard of the Argentine Primera Division, the country's top division football league. But as you know, for every league, there are main clubs whose rivalry is unmatched. In Germany, it's Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. In Spain, it's Real Madrid and Barcelona. And in Argentina, it's Boca Juniors and River Plate. These are two of the largest football clubs in Argentina, with more than half the country's football fans supporting them. To get an idea of the fierce rivalry between them, the Boca Juniors vs River Plate Superclásico local derby match was listed by the BBC as one of the most famous derbies in the world. But many casual football fans today might not even recognise the names Boca Juniors and River Plate. But those that do, understand how serious their clash is. A football match between these two Buenos Aires clubs, much like El Clasico between Barcelona and Madrid, or the Manchester derby between City and United, is called the Superclásico. Even to this day, these two clubs are the best in Argentina, but the question remains, which was the more dominant club in their prime years? And which is the better club historically speaking? But before we get into that, a little bit on how the fierce rivalry all started. The origin of the Superclásico and rivalry between River Plate and Boca Juniors dates back to the early 1900s. River Plate was founded in 1901 and Boca Juniors 4 years later in 1905, both in La Boca, a neighborhood of Buenos Aires in Argentina. And after becoming the best clubs in the country, it was only natural for them to become sworn enemies. The rivalry got so heated that in 1968 at River Plate Stadium, 71 fans lost their lives in a tragic stampede, and a further 150 were injured. To this day, no one really knows what started the stampede, with both sides blaming each other. And as you can imagine, it only made the rivalry worse. Things reached new heights in 2011, when River Plate were relegated to the second division for the first time in over a century, and Boca fans celebrated like they had won a major trophy. And River Plate fans, on the other hand, were understandably irate and started a riot. They did get promoted back to the first division the next year though. But behind all this banter, which of these two clubs actually has those bragging rights? Which club has more glorious prime days? Let's start with Boca Juniors. They have 33 Liga professional titles to their name and have come in as runners-up 23 times. And the Copa Libertadores, which is like the South American version of the UEFA Champions League, they have won that 6 times and have come runners-up 6 times as well. Taking into consideration that the competition includes other big clubs in South America, like Santos FC and Fluminense, winning the Copa Libertadores is no small feat. They also came close to winning one of the most prestigious trophies in world football, the FIFA Club World Cup. It was the year 2007, and the FIFA Club World Cup final took place at the Nissan Stadium, Yokohama, Japan, on December 16th. The match was between the UEFA Champions League winners AC Milan and Copa Libertadores winners Boca Juniors. Much to the disappointment of Boca fans, Milan won 4-2, with Brazil's Kaká being named as man of the match. But before it was called the FIFA Club World Cup, it used to be called the Intercontinental Cup, and Boca Juniors won that in 1977, 2000 and 2003. In 1977, they faced off against Borussia Mönchengladbach, where they won 5-2. But in the year 2000, you'll never guess who they won it from. Los Blancos. That's right, the almighty Real Madrid. And in 2003, they won it against AC Milan. I guess their loss in the 2007 final was revenge for the Italian side. But River Plate has a history that's equally prolific, maybe even more prolific. They have won the Liga professional title 42 times. That's 9 more than their arch rivals. They have also come runners-up 32 times, which also happens to be 9 more than the Boca Juniors. But they do come up short in their Copa Libertadores trophies. They have only won the title 4 times, making them 2 titles short of Boca Juniors in the competition. And when it comes to the Intercontinental stage, Boca is also the better club. While Boca Juniors don't have even one FIFA World Cup trophy to their name, neither do River Plate, having only come runners-up in 2015 in a 3-0 loss against FC Barcelona in the final. But they have only won the Intercontinental Cup once in their history, while Boca have won it 2 more times. River Plate, however, have had some very good moments against Boca Juniors. On October 19, 1941, the River Plate team of the 1940s, known as the La Maquina, beat Boca 5-1 on their way to the Argentine Championship, which stands as their biggest Superclásico win. And the next year, they also grabbed another 4-0 win against Boca. Later that same year, on November 8, 1942, River came back from 2-0 down to a 2-2 draw, winning the championship that year in the home of their arch-rivals for the first time in history and in an unexpected turn of events. Overall though, Boca has had the last laugh. Out of the 214 Superclásico games played, Boca has won 78 of them, while River has only won 71 of those games. They also recorded the biggest win in Superclásico history on December 23, 1928, when they defeated River 6-0, with 2 goals coming from Domingo Tarasconi, Roberto Cerro, and Esteban Cuco. Another important moment for the club was on February 3, 1974. Carlos Garcia Cambon scored 4 goals in his Boca debut in a 5-2 win, the most goals scored by a single player in the Superclásico. Notable players that later went on to play in Europe also spent some time playing for the club, including Carlos Tevez and the legendary Diego Maradona. But you may be surprised to learn that River has a more prolific list of past players. Impressively, 2 players from the River Plate Academy won the Ballon d'Or. Spain's Alfredo Di Stefano won the award in 1957 and 1959, and the Super Ballon d'Or in 1989, making him the only player to ever win the Super Ballon d'Or in history. It was an award given to the best player of the previous 3 decades, and it was given only once. But Di Stefano wasn't the only one who had played for River Plate who had won a Ballon d'Or. There was also Italy's Omar Savori, who won it in 1961. Both of these players, however, weren't playing for River at the time they won the award. But when it comes to having Ballon d'Or winners in club history, Boca is beat hands down. But to be fair, Maradona would have won it too if South American players weren't excluded during his career. So which of these 2 clubs is better? The fierce Boca Juniors or the majestic River Plate? If we're going by domestic dominance, River is the clear winner. They have won the league title 9 more times than Boca. And we can't forget that they have had 2 Ballon d'Or winners play for them in their history. But while Boca have come up short in the domestic league compared to their rivals, they have dominated on the international stage, with 2 more Copa Libertadores titles. And not to forget, they have also won more Superclásico matches. However, judging overall, I'd say River Plate has been the better club. Despite their disgraceful but fleeting relegation to the 2nd Division League in 2011. But hey, that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to keep seeing more awesome content. Or you know what? Just explore our channel to find more awesome videos right now. See you there.